video. In this video, I'm going to be reacting to your theories about what's going to happen in season 3. Your theories from Discord and YouTube. Finally made the YouTube ones, and I caught up. Literally got one that was posted a minute before. So yes. But yeah, the spoilers in this one all the way to the end of the series, like very, very, very end of the end of the series. So if you have not finished the entire series, I'm sorry, not a safe video for you. Read faster. You know who I'm talking to. Anyway, but yeah, if you have finished the entire series, let's get into these theories.
Let's be nerdy with Let's Be Nerdy. Let's be nerdy with Let's Be Nerdy.
All right, we'll start here with the dark one. Fail is or will become a wolf sister. I love the idea of there being wolf sisters. It's weird to me in the books that there aren't. Like it's a running theme in the books that there should be balance, and we only ever have wolf brothers, so whatever. It goes along with my unpopular opinion from last year. I don't remember that. But imagine the help and guidance she will give Perrin if she knows what he is going through and has been through it herself. I like the idea of there being wolf sisters, not so into the idea of Fael being a wolf sister. Like, it's a little too matchy-batchy to me. I don't know, that's a dumb reason, but it just is. Okay, I Sunny Ghost here. Sorry, just butting in with a theory here, butting in. Oh, okay. It's the conversation before that she's referring to, or they're referring to, talking about Karlach. Okay, Baldur's Gate. Apparently, Elayne sings this season. I have heard this. I have heard that Elayne sings. Jonathan is, I didn't watch the one up, but I heard this from somebody. And it makes me wonder about this scenario. Does she introduce Chico to karaoke? So we get drunk and introduce karaoke to the world of Wheel of Time. I would love that. Elayne getting drunk is like a thing in the books. Anyway, or does she seduce Abby with accompanying twerking, or sisters doing it for themselves? Yeah. Or do we get an Elayne and Tom duet? Everything was good. Okay, sorry. I'm immediately thinking Tom, Elayne, like the icky stuff that happens in the books that I don't like. But Tom was a bard in her, like, when she was growing up. So maybe that's just all you're referring to, and whatever. Yes, okay. Hopefully without her sprawled across his lap. Yeah, doing the icky thing she does in the book with him. Is it a diversionary tactic in the thick of the hunt? Or does Moggy use compulsion on her? Ooh, and find it funny to make her sing? Okay. All of these are interesting. And yeah, I have heard that she sings. So, okay, Mike's got a theory here that's long. I have to scroll through it. Wait. What if the Aes Sedai, seeing how Mat keeps strutting around with a horn, using it to try and pick up girls, which he does. He does that in the Mat trailer. I don't know if you've seen it. It's on Twitter. It's the only place it is. I don't know why they don't like move to other platforms. Twitter is a hellscape. Every time I post there, it's just bought. Anyway, on the official Twitter account, you can find the Mat. Like, it's a Mat teaser specifically. Anyway, he's trying to pick up girls, decides to confiscate it and store it safely in the tower. Maybe they even use the power to block part of his memory. Ooh. And like, that's why he goes and like, when he's in the fin, he asks for his memory back. No, sorry, my brain is doing like theory math. I don't think so, because while I do think, and I talked about this in a previous video, compulsion and memory wipes can be used in conjunction with each other, or like they are hand in hand with each other. I don't think the Aes Sedai could do that, because season 2 sort of established that compulsion is a forbidden weave. The use of compulsion was enough for Yasika to go, well, that means that the Black Aja exists. So, I don't think so. I don't know if that's Mike's theory, but that's just me doing theory math. Okay. Mat is annoyed. They keep messing him around, locking him up and keeping an eye on him, and decides to steal it back. He finds himself in a room that looks like it's been trashed recently. He searches around, not seeing the horn anywhere, stumbles over discarded debris. He collides with a display, blood and blood. He's trying to right himself before he falls flat on his face. He reaches out just as a display piece falls into his outstretched hand. It's a small model of the dice set, but the dice are glued together or something. And what's that rattling noise coming from? It's not from the other displays. They're not moving. Oh, it's the dice. The dice are just making that noise. That's like part of their magic. He looks back at the dice. Useless still. If they could steal something of mine, what's good for the goose and all of that? Oh, that makes so much sense. He would do that, yeah. He slips them into his pocket. Suddenly he hears the sounds of approaching steps. Soft steps like Aes Sedai, many Aes Sedai, not again. They won't lock me up again. Looking around, he somehow trips on the same piece of debris, Tavirin, and falls backwards through a strange twisted doorway. The rattling stops. For now, I've had enough of Aes Sedai. I need to be free of these women. He then realizes he's in a different room altogether. The door is still there, and then he sees he's not alone. Dramatic music, dum dum dum. I love this so much. I love it so much. I don't know if this is true, but I like if this is what's going to happen, but I love it as a theory. It's so good. Miss Quill, Michael, my theory, the ancient Aiel Tinker song, Loyal Tree singing in the Two Rivers, and a folksy song in Tanchico all in the same episode. You're seeing into my soul. Okay, Sam G's theory. Avi and Elayne will be a couple. I think a lot of people are thinking this. Min and Mat will have a redemption arc romance. Ooh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Rand and Egwene will be single and mission-focused. I think this is more a theory for the entire show. Rand's romance arc will be rejecting Lanfear. Okay, that part I actually could see because, Lanfear has to vamoose at some point, stone doorway and all that. But yeah, okay. Are you saying that like Rand won't have his relationship with the women at all? Interesting. Because where my brain went with the Mat and Min romance was like they would be a couple and then break up and it would be like Min would get with Mat later or Rand later, which I like the idea because I'm a little tired of if we watch a couple become a couple, we can never see them break up. And like that just breaking up only, or if they break up, it's because one of them is bad and one of them is good. That just is it's a bit of a trope. I don't know if that's the right word. It's just a thing that I'm tired of seeing where it would be nice to see, like it would feel refreshing and new to me to see a show with two people. We like both of them. We like them together for a bit and then we realize they don't fit and they break up, but we still like both of them. And then they can have their separate romances, one of which we can like and one of which we can have lots of feelings about. So yeah. Also, Min is arrested as a dark friend and jailed in Tar Valon. Mat tells himself he's not going to make the same mistake twice and then breaks her out again anyways. Ooh, I like that as a justification. I'm a little married now to a theory another person had that Mat frees Swan from Tar Valon. I don't know why. I just really like that idea. But I love this justification because it does feel very true to the books. Like Mat's like, I'm no bloody hero as I go and do something incredibly heroic. Like, I don't know. That feels very true to the books. Okay, Samji's got another one. One more. I'm not sure whether this is shown or something revealed much later, but I think Varen may fabricate evidence against Swan that leads to Elida's coup. Part of her service to the Shadow that she can't not do. Oh, that makes me sad. I could see it. Oh, okay. I could see it, but not obviously. Like, I don't think the show would want to play its hand with Varen yet because, just because that's such a good late reveal. But I could see it being something where you go like, oh, that was a weird thing Varen did. Like where she does, it's not obvious that she's fabricated evidence, but that she's done something that led to like, she caused dominoes to fall in such a way. And if you don't know, you'll think, well, that was unfortunate. But if you know, you go, ooh, Varen, like that kind of thing. Yeah. Newsreader again. The Hall of the Sitters and the White Tower in general will get even more shredded, yes, during the Tower coup, on top of the damage done during the shredding to further exemplify the fracturing of the Aes Sedai for all to see. I think this is just a given. We've already seen what happens after the final shot of the sneak peek. Like we saw Alana tearing up the pavement in Tar Valon. So yes. In the show, we've only seen a sane Lews Therin speaking the old tongue. I'm very excited to hear what a mad LTT speaking in the common tongue inside Ranted will sound like, along with Elida's voice and accent. I mean, aren't we all Elida? And LTT, yes. Elida. Okay, Max Silva. Are you Matt? Is she cosplay in Discord? If you are, I met you at WalkCon, and he has an amazing Ishii cosplay. It was amazing. As another proponent of the flash forward theory, let me explain what I think was meant by that. It's the cold open, the shredding, that's the flash forward, okay? And then after the cold open, we do a backwards jump to see like the day before leading up to the shredding. I think I can't remember if I talked about it in this video or the previous one, because I'm recording these back to back and they're all melding together. But we've already seen a clip that was shown on Good Morning Britain, I believe, of Moraine lecturing the kids. And it does feel like that's happening before the shredding. So yeah, like especially having now seen the shredding, It feels like the kind of thing you might build up to with it hanging over the episode. To Race the Shadow is the title, and trying to set up the confrontation before any Black Magic and find out Nynaeve is back to testify is definitely going to be a race. Plus, Moraine looks like she, number one, is gazing at the tower as though she knows exactly, what the plan is going to be because she put it together with Swan already the day before. I do think that's true. I think I even said it somewhere like that. The implication is that they met already. So maybe the scene in the fish hut, the fishwives hut, Love Shack, we have so many names for it, is a flashback. Okay, yeah. 2, might be heading out with Rand and Egwene to the waste, while Perrin is also heading to the Two Rivers, which is why she's not trying to help at all. She has stuff going on that is equally important, if not more. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Felden fart. Here's a theory for you, a theory for you. Thanks to Lauren unraveling the pattern, we know that there is a redstone doorway. Yep, I know that too. I also had it in the 13th repository. We also know that Moraine, Rand, and Mat are in Tarvalon, all of whom need to go through said doorway. Side note, Swan could have already released Moraine from the not to return vow. Yeah, that's true. Just she can't come back until Swan calls her home. Swan could call her home, like when they meet in the Love Shack. Okay. After the shredding, Swan or even Varen sneak Moraine and Rand in. Mat follows doing his own sneaking, which replaces all of the tier stuff, basically, and gives Moraine and Rand the reason for the waste trip, and also gives Mat the medallion. I think, where is it? We are getting tier. I don't think we need to replace tier because we're getting it. Rosamund Pike has said that in the interview. I think it's in Nerdist, where she says, don't worry, we haven't forgotten tier, we're getting it. In fact, I believe the comment was she is trying to get Rand to go to tier to get Kalendor, and he goes to the waste instead. So maybe tier would come after, which actually is backed up by a theory, not just a theory. Whatever. Bree said on my channel years ago, which is that when Robert Jordan wrote the books, he initially planned them to be a 6-book series. Kalendor happens at the end of book 3, which is the midpoint. So having it happen at the midpoint of the planned show makes sense because that is how it flows narratively. It's a little early for him to pick up that sword in the story, just narratively speaking. So yeah. All right. Felden Fart again. Sorry, your username. Additional theory. I think Melindra will take on Abby's duties of teaching Rand Giotto, which makes sense to me with her new background. Mat not being in the waste, that's true, and Abby doing stabby things. Also would lead to no igloo. Oh my gosh. Okay, as Abby Elayne can be a thing instead, and Melindra could be involved with a whole host of other targets. If Melindra is involved with Rand, the trauma. Because then it would be like, okay, he was with Egwene, okay, broke up with her, then got with Selene, who turned out to be Lanfear, and then gets with Melindra, who turns out to be a dark friend. Oh, the trauma. Oh, that's so sad for poor Rand. But I don't know if that's what your theory is there, but I like that. It's just trauma on top of trauma. I feel bad for poor Rand, but it works because traumatizing Rand is it's the fuel that makes this story go. Lisa Brackett, LW3ZN. Okay, so on Elaida having a foretelling during the coronation scene, I don't know, but I'm thinking it will definitely be in the show. During Alana's voiceover, we don't win battles with politics, shot of Elaida, and prophecy, shot of Elayne. We win with armies. Yeah, that caught my attention first watch. Or it could have just been a nod to book readers, but we know they never do anything unintentionally. I agree. And I think they have to give us a foretelling from Elaida just to show us her power. It's just something unique about her. I mean, there are other people who have foretellings in the books, but she's the main one that we know. So, yes. The interesting thing, you thinking it through, her having that specific foretelling at the coronation kind of undoes some things from the books. Because in the books, she has the foretelling before Borghese is chosen, waits to see who becomes the royal line, and then latches onto them, instead of realizing that it was the current royal line. They could do this, there's all sorts of things you could do. You could sort of finagle the royal line a bit to make Morghese part of the current royal line, that was there, or part of Tigraine's royal line, I should say. Or just reword the prophecy a little bit. I don't know. I do hope that they still have the whole Elaida has this power, but just makes it she's just wrong about the way she interprets things. I think that would be a good through line to keep in the show from the books. But I do think it's possible just by rejiggering some of the words of the prophecy, maybe, or some of the, not just the words of the prophecy, but some of the family tree of the Turkans. Rantel more. I do think both of Alana's warriors will die. The show kind of has to do its best to rationalize her headspace when she does the thing. I've had this thought too, and it's horrible. I think it could work though. It's so sad though. So sad. Swedish dad. Uh-oh, what if Alana bonds parent instead? Ooh, somebody mentioned this earlier. Although I think it was just, what if she tries to bond and then Fael scares her away with knives? I think they'll do a bait and switch in the early Tarvalon episode with the Emmonsfield Five, where Rand hangs out at the bar late at night with Elayne, but ends up spending the night with Egwene. Oh, okay, yeah. While Elayne and Abby connect. Ooh, interesting. Okay. We know there's a doorframe in the tower, and a number of clues point towards the gang being at Tarvalon at the end of the season, and Mat being in Tanchico at some point with Nynaeve, Elayne, and Min. So there's another doorframe. If there's another doorframe in Iridian, then there shouldn't be one in Tanchico, or there could be both. Like, hey, sorry, I'm stopping halfway through. What if like the one in Tarvalon has snakes and foxes, and the one in Iridian has like snakes, and the one in Tanchico has foxes? Like there's one or the other, like that. Like, yeah, okay. But anyway, I'm just throwing that out there. But there shouldn't be one in Tanchico, and it would be too early for him to end up in Iridian anyway. Okay, perhaps the Son of Battles will be told to go to Tanchico. Go to Tanchico, Son of Battles. Okay, that could work. Perhaps Nynaeve has to heal him afterward. A second, more unfortunate encounter with the Finn. I don't know. So many possibilities. I really like getting to enjoy the book. It really is like getting to enjoy the book experience all over again. Yes. I wish more people had this thought. Like, if you don't like it, that's fine. But I feel like so many of the book cloaks feel like the show is taking the books away from them. And it's not. The books are always there. If you don't like the show, just don't watch it. It's fine. You can still just go read the books. And like, even this show being made doesn't mean that some other adaptation wouldn't be made. My God, the amount of adaptations of things, like reboots of things that literally were just released. Like, it happens all the time. But I wish people just saw it like this instead. Like, who is it? I think it's 100 Companions. 100 Companions on YouTube. He's another Wheel of Time reaction YouTuber. Really great guy. I think that's his name. I should check, but I think that's it. Yeah, I'll put his logo up here, whatever. He called it in his video, bonus Wheel of Time. And I wish, like, bonuses are extra. If you don't want it, you don't have to eat it. But if you want it, it's just there. It's just extra. It's bonus, and I love it. Vardaski. I worry about the show if they lose Rosamund and Natasha this season. Okay, I don't think it will happen this season, but you're right. We're going to end up having to lose them both at the same time. Because, and then when one, and then the other one, I didn't even think about that. Oh, that's hard. Okay, so they might make a cliffhanger. We have to have Mat go through the door first so we understand what this place is. That's right. Yeah, I think so too. I didn't think they had died until Lan reacted. Yeah, Lane's reaction didn't cement it for me because, the don't see a corpse, whatever. You know what cemented it for me was Sindane. Sindane, like Lancer coming back, that meant that the Dark One had taken a dead body and then brought Sindane back. That, for me, that was the math I did. I know not everybody did that math, but that was the math for me where I went, okay, Moraine's gone. All right, Gordon the Bald. If the show is projected as, what was it, 7 seasons? No, it was 8 seasons. Then they really need to get a shift on. There's a lot of unskippable stuff in the later books, so season 4 has like 5 books to cover. Okay. I think the whole Malden plot will go. That was the Shido plot, I think. And the Andoran succession will be an episode tops. No, I wouldn't do that. I would do it like as a background thing that's happening over multiple episodes, because I think it has to feel like it was hard won. If you do it in one episode, it's just like, oh, look at that. She just got that. But if you have it like episode 1, she's struggling. And then again, we see a little bit more happening in episode 3 and then episode 5. Like, but I don't think it would be the focus of an episode. That's just me though. Tanchico and Ebudar get merged. Well, we're going to Tanchico this season. Oh, because like Ebudar was like searching for the cache. So maybe finding the domination band and the cache of the set. Okay. Drop Bandar Evan, the Shido and Dumais. Well, what? They have to have that battle. Okay, I thought they were listing things to drop. The Shido and Dumais Wells, they have to have that battle. But the cause and the aftermath, I think, will be much simpler. A rebellion and done with Aes Sedai power shown as deficient. Thailand gone, please, Thailand gone, please. And possibly the Black Tower. As a result of that plot line, is basically just goons for Team Evil. Although I'd pine for the I wouldn't. Okay, yeah, edit. I actually changed my mind about the Black Tower. It's useful as an alternative for Rand to turn to after Demise Well's distrust of Aes Sedai and act as a driver for Dark Brand. I would not get rid of the Black Tower at all. I just think it's such a dark storyline. Like it's one of the darkest, even stuff that some people don't think is dark, like what Logain does. I find incredibly gross and dark. Yeah, I think it's just part of Rand's descent, I think, and also showing like that he's not making good decisions because he just, what is it they say on Wheel Takes? Rand doesn't make a habit of giving a fuck about the Black Tower. I forget how they word it, but basically he just ignores it. It's just, he asked somebody to make him a bunch of nukes, and then he was like, yeah, it's fine. What? Grain Man 79. Melindra will be Esam's younger sister as a counterpoint to Grain and Luke. That works. I could see that working completely. Sarah Lee for the win. Maybe Swan Sanche is Cat Swain Melydron too? How? On her return to the tower makes sense being Amerlin again too. How? Because the show has actually name-dropped Cat Swain, I think twice in season 1 or season 2. I can't remember. I think it's season 2. I think it's Elayne that says it at least once. I don't know how this would work. Explain this to me. I have no idea how this would work. All right, Daniel's naughty. If the goal is to go more towards polyamory than polygamy, I think they'll start teasing that by replacing Gaul with Bane and Chiad, okay? And have them flirting with Perrin and Fael. Kind of want to see the three of them teasing Perrin something fierce. Oh, I kind of like that. That would sort of replace the scene that from when Perrin is with the Tuathon and they're dancing. Is it the Taganza or the Caesar? I think the Caesar is Fael's. But yeah, like where he's really embarrassed when they're dancing to Taganza for him. I like that. That's cute. Alex Lalobos. Here's my season 3 theory. It's going to be fucking epic and we're all going to suffer yet be thankful for it. Yeah. Okay, Sanale. Here's my wild guess. Dane Bornhold will get the White Cloak redemption arc. Okay. Galad, on the other hand, learns that he can channel maybe at the end of season 3 and goes to the Black Tower instead. He's commonly believed to be a channeler in the book, so they might as well make it explicit canon. Yeah, that's a very, very common theory. And sorry, I'm just trying to remember in the origins if that is mentioned, because I feel like it was, but I can't remember. But yeah, that is a very, very common. He's Rand's brother. And channeling is kind of genetic, so yes. I think the show version of Dane Bornhold is sympathetic and reasonable enough to be taken the token good White Cloak. That is true. Like he was a nice guy, sort of like he's a White Cloak, so you know he's a nice guy. But like his reason for hating Perrin is going to be much more reasonable than in the show because he literally watched Perrin axe his father in the chest. Sorry. Should probably read the entire comment before I start talking. For one thing, he actually saw Perrin kill his dad rather than acting on hearsay. Yes, this change would be especially good if Galad is still Rand's half-brother and a Trakand by adoption. Okay. This is an interesting idea. It's a little hard for me because Galad is one of my favorite, B characters. And when I say favorite, I mean different in, Elaida is one of my favorite B characters just because I find her fascinating. But I don't like Elaida as a person. I would not want to be in a room with Elaida. But Galad is one of my favorite B characters, and I think I like him. Especially on rereads, especially knowing where his story goes, I find myself sympathizing with him so much in the early books, even. And this is a perfectly fine arc. You're sort of stepping on one of my favorite arcs in the books, which is Galad learning to see nuance and shades of gray, and him becoming a hero, it's like killing your darlings or whatever. It's not my darling. It's Robert Jordan's darling. But this is a perfectly fine story, and it would also be. You could even have that nuance with Galad in this, channeling being a male evil thing. I also want to see Galad kill Valda. That's... This is perfectly fine. It's just I have an emotional attachment to Galad's arc. All right, Felden Fart back again. Sorry to say your name and then I hear it. Sorry. Here's a way you could introduce Mat's luck. Trailing sneakily, Moraine ran to the 13th depository. He sees them enter the redstone door. Ooh, so Moraine takes Rand. Ooh, interesting. Okay, and decides to follow. He spots the dice as he walks past, maybe accidentally knocks them off the pedestal into a pot. So he's a thief. He pickpockets it. Inside the door frame, the dice in his Taviran mess with the realm of the Elfin and the Ilfin, and he refuses and fuse the dice within Mat. Interesting. That's a little mushy magic-wise. Like that's something that feels like the way that Isam and Luke became one. Like they just fused. Ugh. But in the show, if they do something like visual to show it, that could work. They would just have to do like effects to make that make sense. Interesting. Okay, Landman Dragarin 8072. I hope that Mat doesn't collect the dice. Okay. And holding them is what gives him his long term. Okay. Wait, you hope that he doesn't collect them? But holding... okay, whatever. Let me finish reading the comment. I just told myself this. I really want it to be tied to his Taviran nature. I don't think his luck is his Taviran nature. And I don't think this because I've been yelled at this about this a lot. I think I once referred to his luck as Taviran, maybe more than once, but I stopped saying that because I got yelled at in the comments by people a lot for that. Luck is separate. Taviran, luck are not the same thing. They're completely separate things. His luck is like his talent. Taviran is Taviran. And like, I think it was like in talking about what happens after the books, if he loses his Taviran and then he's just not lucky. And everybody's like, oh no, he'll still be lucky because his luck is completely separate from that. And like thinking about it more, I think that makes canonical sense. So I don't think his luck is Taviran. I don't think they're tied. And again, I'm mostly just going, like, it makes logical sense with the canon of the books, but enough people yelled at me about that I think it must have been said somewhere or something. And I want Perrin and especially Rand to be Taviran as well. Sorry, just reading the comment. They are. Finish the comment, Jenny. Okay. They are Taviran. They said they were in season 1, but dropped the concept completely so far. No, they didn't. They're just, whatever. Okay. Rand needs to have his severe Taviran become ominous and overpowered near the end. They're still Taviran. They just haven't talked about it that much. Taviran's a hard concept to explain. Like, even trying to explain it to my sister, like, it's just, they're the main character. And it's important. So, like, it's hard enough to explain when you can use words that would be not existing in this world. When reading the books, the way I came to understand Taviran was just by having it repeated over and over again. Like, you point at something enough and go, that's Taviran, that's Taviran, that's Taviran. By like the 15th time, I go, oh, I think I can recognize a Taviran. Like, it's like grammar. Like grammar, you can teach grammar explicitly, but the best way to get grammar and understanding grammar is to hear it over and over again until things start to sound right or sound wrong to you. That's like how you sort of understand Taviran. So, which is very difficult in the show because if you just keep saying Taviran over and over again, people will stop hearing it. Like it will sound repetitive. Yeah. I don't know. I'm a little confused by this. Like they are Taviran. So, okay. Malifex 9922. I think the easiest way for the Shadow to off Joya would either be the introduction of a gray man golem. Makes sense to just combine these. That could work, actually, yeah. Lanfear, she seems to be the contact for the Aes Sedai rather than Masana, or even Shaidar Haran. There is a Myrtle on the poster. There is. He's in the back right, in the dark. So, yes, this could work. And I did hear that we were getting other Shadow Spawn. I had no idea where I heard that. I've been talking all day. So I'm literally, this is the third video I'm recording today, trying to get all the theories out. But yeah, okay, maybe like, well, it could be either of them, Gray Man or Golem. Golem wouldn't necessarily, or Gray Man wouldn't actually, neither of them would look like other Shadow Spawn, really, until they went to do something. Malifex, again, okay, my theory for the end of season scene is the Forsaken Tea Party where Demandred, or Ishi declares the Great Lord of the Dark wants Lord of Chaos to rule and reveal all 8 faces. Ooh, I like that, especially if we have seen one of those 8 faces. Like, they've been a character that we've seen maybe once or twice that we didn't know, and then they reveal their face at the end, and oh, it's a Forsaken. Like, even it'd be so cool if they could surprise us, like they did with Dana. Dana, I love Dana because Dana was a surprise for me. Sad that Dana is gone, but I love that I got surprised by it. So, that would be cool. Another theory I have is that in season 4, Rand will establish the Black Tower and make friends with an Ashaman. Okay. That he confides in throughout the season. After Demise Wells, he gives an order to his Ashaman friend to handle the captured Aes Sedai, and it is revealed that Cadsuane, who I think will be his advisory council by this point, cannot see the other person, and that Rand has been suffering from the madness more and more. Yeah, they have to find a way to show his madness. This would be a good way to do it gradually, but yeah. And they have to find a way to do it that doesn't make him completely unlikable or unreasonable to us. It's in the books. I think I talked about this in a video before. The first time through, I remember feeling very frustrated with how people reacted to Rand because I was in his head and Rand doesn't think he's mad. So I didn't think he was mad. And then on subsequent rereads, it was noticing, oh my gosh, he's laughing at nothing. He's vomiting for nothing. He's recoiling from nothing. He's acting insane. And so people are reacting to him like a madman. He's having these like huge mood swings that are not based on any logic if you do not see his perspective. And I think, something like this would be a good way to build up to it slowly so that he doesn't seem unreasonable. And then at some point he is going to have to start seeming unreasonable though. Oh, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what this is like when we get there, if we get there. Vidarth, I wonder if they're going to combine Slayer and Shida Haran. We saw a suspicious hooded figure in the poster. Yes, we did. Okay, somebody else was suggesting the goal. There's a lot of suggestions for combining things. This could work too. Slayer is introduced a lot earlier than Shida Haran, but I mean, I think this could work. All right, Samuel Gelber here. Is Elaida going to have a vision about someone? I think we have to. I think we have to see Elaida have a foretelling. The only foretelling we've seen in the show so far is Katara, and that was a flashback. So this would give Elaida has to be a force to be reckoned with, right? So I think she has a power that other people don't have. That would make her a force to be reckoned with. What if it's actually a vision of Egwene, and she sees something vague about Egwene releasing darkness? What is that in reference to? What would that be? No, Egwene doesn't do that. Sorry, what I was thinking of is spoilers. End of the series. Breaking of the seals. Egwene doesn't do that though. What would this be in reference to? I really want to know what would Egwene be releasing darkness? Like, is it, the foretelling has to be true. What, am I missing something obvious? I feel like I'm missing something obvious. Sarah Lee for the win again. Okay, how about Padden Fane and Slayer in the dream world? Okay. Wait, okay. Sorry, this is the math my brain did. I don't know if this is what you mean, but this is what my brain did. Are you saying that Padden Fane is like Padden Fane, right? But then when he's in the dream world, he's Slayer. So like Padden Fane is like Isam Luke. That's the merging? Because I don't know what they're doing with Padden Fane in the show. I don't know. We have this amazing actor who like really feels like the Padden Fane from the books, but then the Padden Fane in the show is not doing that. This would be a way to amp him up a lot. And we don't have to introduce a new character because we already know Padden Fane. Although, would they get a different actor for the Slayer part? I don't know. Oh, this is very interesting. I'm going to noodle on this some more. I like this as an idea. I like this because we have this amazing actor for Padden Fane, and I don't know what we're doing with him. I really don't. Oh, I'm going to think about this some more. Okay, Mrs. Angie and Bella? Mrs. Angie and... Okay, I don't know. Mrs. Angie and Bella is how I'm going to say. Theory, background. Rand has genuine feelings for Lanfear. He does. Yeah, even though he now knows she is forsaken. He lived with her for months, and those emotions have not just vanished overnight. They can't. This is further complicated by Lanfear appearing helpful to Rand at various points of the season, so part of him thinks she is redeemable. And that's also true in the book. She's very, very, very helpful in the books. This is why we get the "Do you love her?" from Egwene, who literally cannot believe that he could defend Lanfear's actions and motivations in any way. That is, yeah. I mean, this is just true to life, right? Like we get, you see it when you have a friend who's in a relationship with someone and you know it's unhealthy, like maybe it's abusive or just unhealthy or toxic. And you see it in 2 dimensions, right? You can see it and what you see is right. I'm making this situation up in my brain, right? Where you see a situation, you're right. It's toxic. It's unhealthy. That person needs to get out of this relationship. But the 3rd dimension that you're missing is their history with that person. the good times, the kindness that maybe they showed at one point in time. That basically just the history. Time is the third dimension that you're not seeing, and so it's very hard for you to understand their perspective, because from your perspective, the two dimensions are so clear. They're so clear. And in this situation, how would she understand? She couldn't. She's Lanfear. We've been told stories about Lanfear since we were kids. What the fuck do you mean you have feelings for her? What the fuck? Prediction. This will be by Rand cannot kill Lanfear at the docks. Oh. That is so much. Yes. Sorry. Let me finish the comment. Even though she is threatening Egwene and why Moraine has to step up, this is instead of him being unable. Oh, wait. Where's my? Sorry, I'm gonna move my mouse. Okay. This will be instead of him being unable to kill a woman because of having some weird dead women in his head. Yes, weird list of dead women in his head. I'm sorry. I hate that whole idea in the books and would love it if the show got rid of it. And even RJ calls it out, using the maidens as a proxy later on in the series. Yes, this is a much better justification. One of my frustrations with this is that Rand's refusal to kill women is clearly a flaw. And I've had this, when I first started to try and find the Wheel of Time fandom, the first place I went, for some reason, was Reddit. And this was one of those things where I'd be like, the flaws of the women, and the men, I would get these replies, well, the men have flaws too, like Rand and his not killing women thing. And it's just like, somehow they don't seem equal, because you know why? This flaw is still endearing. Chivalry, even this extreme of it, people still look at that and go, well, he's a nice guy. He doesn't want to hurt women. He's a nice guy. We still like him. Here's what. Whereas the women's flaws, often the way they are described, especially by people in Reddit, are like, they're angry, they're mean, they're rude, they're selfish, they're ambitious, they're so they're not nice. They're not nice. That is a big part of why people oh my God. Thinking that the Wheel of Time fandom was what was represented. I'm just realizing also I'm going to post this video on Reddit. Oh shit. But thinking that was what was representative of the fandom made me think, have I read these books wrong? Because there was just a lot of hatred for the women, mostly for not being nice, especially not nice to men. And the idea that the main flaw of the main guy is that he has this flaw that makes him nice. It doesn't feel balanced at all. And that's just that's a completely separate rant that has nothing to do with predictions of season 3. This feels like a much more real justification that is not made up. It's not based in a principle that you should be able to get past when you're dealing with literal Satan. Oh my God, this one's from a minute ago. I just got that. All right, I am as caught up as I can possibly be. Another theory from Mrs. Angelium Bella from the interview. It sounds like Elayne has a scene where she sings. Could this possibly be when she is feeling the tipsiness of her newly bonded warder Brigitte, who is drinking with Mat? Could we get Brigitte being ripped out of tar by Moggy? Or could the singing involve staying undercover in a certain carnival? Do you think we'll get... Oh, okay. There's a lot going on in here. I don't think we get Brigitte this... Okay, that's not true. I'm lying. I think we could get Brigitte this soon, but I don't... I can't... the show could do a lot. The show can do a lot in a little bit of time, but I feel like getting Brigitte ripped out of Talaran Riyadh while in the season where we're learning what Talaran Riyadh is a lot. You kind of have to establish rules before you can break them. You have to feel safe in that you understand the rules before you can break them. And so I could see Brigitte getting ripped out next season after we feel like, oh, it's safe. She's in Talaran Riyadh. It's perfectly safe there. That could be that. Could the singing involve staying undercover at a certain carnival? Do you think we get... Oh my gosh, that would be interesting too. That would be interesting too. I don't know how to make the timing of the story work with that. But that's just because I'm thinking about this on the fly. I bet you I could if I thought about it for a bit. Like how you get... obviously there could easily be a circus in Tanjiko. Tanjiko looks like a place that would like a circus. Oh no. I don't know. I'm as caught up can be. I literally responded to one from a minute ago. I don't know if I'll have time to do another one. I've been talking all day. But these are my thoughts on your theories. Let me know your thoughts about my thoughts about your theories. That's Inception it in the comments below. If you like my content and you want to support me, I also have a Patreon that is linked in the description below. To my patrons, as always, thank you so much for your continued support. This is possible because of you, so thank you. Literally keeping the lights on. And with that, I am going to end this here. So please like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.